Hi guys, it's Tara and welcome back to Crafting with Curly Cues. Today I am sharing a project featuring the adorable Bat Halloween stamp set from Gerda Steiner Designs. So I fell in love with the stamp set the very first time I saw it. These little bats are so adorable, and I knew that I wanted to try making a moonscape with this stamp set. So I've done a little pre-prep work here with some die cuts and cut out some squares, and I have cut out a circle mask. So you can see that's going to be my moon mask, and I'm just kind of trying to figure out where I want my little bat to go. I want him to be obviously flying in front of the moon, but because I'm going to mask everything off while I create the background, I've got to get that little stamp on there first of that little bat. So I stamped that on some full adhesive Post-it notes. These are absolutely great for masking, and they're nice and affordable. I just fussy cut them out really quick, stuck that mask over the bat, and now I'm putting that circle moon on there. So that is literally just a circle die cut that I had that I ran through my Big Shot on top of that full adhesive Post-it. And so now I wanted my background to kind of be purplish because black and purple at Halloween time is like my favorite. So even though this isn't a Halloween card, it's obviously can be used as a Halloween set. And so I wanted to lean towards purple because I'm just so excited to be using all the Halloween colors and stuff. So I started with some Victorian velvet, and then I put on some seedless preserves, and now I'm going in with some wilted violet. So I'm just kind of working my way out. So I made the Victorian velvet go all the way up to that Post-it note. So there's definitely some color around the moon, but then with each darker color that I come in with, I go less close to the circle. I stay further away from the circle. It's probably a better way to say that. And so now I've got some black soot, and I'm going over the top of that purple. So you can still kind of see the purple through it, but it's definitely getting darker. And then I go one more time over the black soot with the wilted violet so that the purple tone kind of stays. It's still really dark, but you get the purple tone. You can see I've left that halo around the middle that's nice and light. So I really just did that by just not bringing my ink in. You don't really have to do any blending with it. You just slowly, as your ink gets darker, just don't go close to your moon circle, and it creates this incredible bright glow. I had never done this before. I'd seen other people do it. It seemed like it was super hard. It's really not. It's just a matter of not putting your dark inks in the middle. So watch when I pull this up. Holy cow, doesn't it look like my paper is like glowing? I think it looks so cool. So you obviously saw that I stuck some splatters on there with my white picket fence distress spray so that I got some stars, and I did that before I peeled any masks up so that it only went in the background. So I wanted my moon to look a little bit more textured. You could totally leave it like just a white moon. I think that looks really cool too. But I wanted a little bit of texture. So I have some antique linen, some scattered straw, and then some pumice stone distress inks just squished on my craft mat, and I'm just using a water brush to go ahead and bring some of that in. So I am just really I'm not painting, I'm dabbing. And I'm going super, super light because I know I can always add more color, but taking color off is tricky. So I started with the antique linen and just kind of dab that on there. And I'm wanting the texture, so I want that kind of dabbed look. Like I want it to kind of dry and then put more in and then dab some more. And then I put just a couple splotches of the scattered straw to give it some bright light spots, and then the pumice stone is just proves to creates little darker spots. So it's kind of hard to see on camera, but some of the still shots you can really see up close how it really does add a lot of texture to the moon, and it makes it not quite so glaringly crazy bright white. So once the moon was all done and I hit that with my heat tool, now I'm going to go in and I'm going to color in my bat. So I was originally going to bust out my zigs, but I was like, you know what? I have all my distress inks out. I'm just going to go ahead and do this the same way I've been doing everything else. So I squished a bunch of colors on my craft mat. I've got the seedless preserves, the Victorian velvet, I believe hickory smoke, black soot, and then a little bit of worn lipstick for the inner ears and the cheeks of my precious little bat here. And I'm just coming in with my water brush, as you can see, and applying color. So I'm starting again light, and I'm just going to try to build it up. I want the wings to kind of be purple to kind of match the background. So I'm using some of those purple tones to pull into the wings. And when I watercolor, I am a control freak. So I've said this before, I'm a control freak. So watercoloring is tricky for me because the whole kind of point of watercolor is it's not super controlled. And so, I don't know, drives me bonkers. So I went in with my water brush, did all this, dried that, kind of put down some base color, and then I just grabbed a regular dry paintbrush. I have no idea what size this is. It's not an expensive brand. It's just a paintbrush that I have in my stash. And I started using that to really put the shadows on my bat here. And I'm doing that because there's hardly any water on this brush, and that allows me to really be in a lot more control of where the color's going. So you can see the color's going on way darker now because I don't have so much water on that brush. And then I'm kind of blending out with my water brush, but it just, in my mind, it just gave me that little bit of extra control I felt like I needed to really do what I wanted to with this bat. So I wanted it to be darker up at the top of his wing and then blend out into the purple that matched the sky. And then I'm trying to put some shadows on his little face, but I think everything was just too wet. I was having a hard time. It was blending a lot more than I wanted it to. I mean, it ended up looking super, super cute because honestly, you can't make this bat not look cute because he's just really, really cute. His little like cross eyes kill me. I'm not even kidding. He's so adorable. But anyway, that little dry brush allowed me to kind of put a little bit more detail on him than I would have been able to with the water brush. So even though that is the detailer water brush from Ranger, it still has a bigger brush tip than I wanted to use here. So this really helped me to come in with the smaller brush. I also dropped a little bit of that worn lipstick on his little cheeks and gave him little rosy bat cheeks, and put some on his ears. Now I'm going in just on those little veins in his wings and adding just even darker purple shadow just to kind of give him some dimension because I thought he was looking just a little bit flat. So then he's all done. So now all I have left to do is add a sentiment. So one thing I love about this stamp set is that the sentiments aren't Halloween. So you can use the stamp set for like all different occasions, which I think is really cool because usually something with this kind of theme would definitely be Halloween-y. But this one says, I bat you don't know, and I was trying to figure out where to put it, but I decided to go totally off to the side. And then there's a whole bunch of different things you can add to the end of that. So it says, I bat you don't know, and there's like, I love you, I miss you, you're so appreciated, or something. Like, it's really cool sentiments. So I decided to put that on with some liquid platinum embossing powder. This color is so cool. I think it's really neat. It's like a pewter. It's gorgeous. And I thought that it went really well with the nighttime scene without like detracting from the nighttime. Like I was going to do white and I was like, but that's going to be so like your eye is going to go straight to the sentiment. So I thought that this was a nice compromise of putting something, like shiny and awesome, but not like totally distracting. So then for the inside of the card, I am just going to go ahead and emboss the I miss you and then the couple of silhouette bats that come in the stamp set. I did all this on some Canson XL watercolor paper, and my inside is even watercolor just because I had it out when I did this. You absolutely don't need watercolor paper on the inside of your card, but again, I was being lazy, so I just ran it through my Big Shot twice and cut out a little white square to go on the inside because as you can see, I'm using that beautiful purple card base there. And so I decided that I loved that liquid platinum so much that I wanted to put more of it on the front of the card. So I busted out this other stamp set from Gerda Steiner Designs. I can't remember which one that is. That's either Alien Invasion or Blast Off. I always get the two confused. And it has this little teeny tiny star in it, like solid star. So I stamped a bunch of those little stars in some Versamark, and then I used that liquid platinum just to heat emboss those on the front, and it added just a little bit of extra shimmer and shine and really made the sentiment not look so out of place. And so I thought that was super fun. Total last minute addition, like instead of busting out sequins or something, I was like, I'll just put some more stars on here. So I went with that. So now all that's left is to put this card together, which is super easy because it's just going to be nice and flat. It's actually a one-layer card. Like all I'm doing is applying the panel that I painted. So I thought that was really fun. I haven't done a good hearty one-layer card in a while. So I'm just going to adhere that inside panel to the inside, and then I'm just going to put some ATG all over the back of this painted watercolor piece and stick that right to the front. So this is a teeny tiny little card. It's like 3 5/8 or something by 3 5/8. But I just thought it was the perfect size for this little bat. I did go over his eyes with a white gel pen because some of the watercolor bled into his eyeballs, and I wanted to make sure that those were nice and set apart. And then I also went back over the pupils with my black glaze jelly roll so that they really stood out. Put a little bit of highlight on his wings, and then I did go in with my Copic multiliner. There's that spot on that left wing where the white picket fence star got a little out of control there. So I just went over the line of his wing just to set that apart from that white blob again and make it really stand out from the background. And that is the card for today, guys. I think this was so much fun to create this moonscape, and you just absolutely cannot go wrong with this stamp set. It is so So cute. I can't wait to do something with the little spider that's in it. So there's a little close-up. You can see more detail on the moon when you get a little closer there. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, all the supplies are listed below and over at my blog. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. And don't forget to check out the description box below to join me on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. Thanks, guys. Bye.